Now, in 1999, David Haye was the favourite to win the ABA light heavyweight title. He really was. And become Britain's #1 at the weight and one of the top in Europe. But he was KO'd by Jim Twight, and then Jim Twight, well, he had to meet Joey Ainscough in the final. He didn't, as we'll find out in a minute. Joey turned pro. His career moved slowly. He actually went back and boxed as an amateur. He's a pro again now, and he has an even better story. He was stabbed and left for dead 2 years ago. Next Wednesday, he will be part of the latest Eddie Hearn and Barry Hearn Prizefighter event in Liverpool, which will be shown live on Sky. It's about the 4th G for Sky tonight. Anyway, I called up with Joey a bit earlier, and I asked him about the night he was stabbed.
Yeah, Steve, to be honest, straight, in the immediate aftermath of me being, injured, even in the first couple of days when I was, laid up on morphine and in a really bad way, one of the first things in my mind was getting back up and getting fit and getting back in the ring, to be honest.
But it's still taking you, what? It took you, obviously, you had about last week to shake off a bit of rust, but
2 years.
It's nearly 23 and a bit months.
Yeah, 2 years. I mean, to be honest, within I'm probably ready to start training after a year. And
Okay.
It took me a year to be able to get back up to fighting fit because, it was a long process, getting like the stamina built back up and the endurance and everything else. But I feel great now, you know what I mean? I'm really looking forward to next week.
And then how long were you actually in hospital, Joe?
I was actually in hospital for 3 weeks.
Okay. And then had treatment for months after?
Yeah, well, I had my bowels sticking out through my stomach. I had a colostomy bag on for 6 months because I was completely I couldn't pass anything. You know what I mean? So I was bad too. Like the surgeon told me I died on the operating table.
He
had to revive me and all that, but obviously can't remember none of that.
Of course not.
As soon as I was awake and come round, I just wanted to get rid of all the drains and the staples, and I just wanted to get up and walk, and I just wanted to get back up and get back on my feet. But I feel great now. Everything's good now. So. And
you are back up on your feet now, and you're in the latest edition of Prizefighter, which I've got to tell you is one of the craziest lineups. I absolutely love this lineup.
Yeah.
There's all sorts of lunatics, cranks, and winners, losers. I mean, it's a great lineup. Plus the Olympia. Is there a better venue for a crazy night of boxing than the Olympia in Liverpool? There's not, is there?
No. I think it's a really good mix. There's a couple of young, hungry prospects coming through. There's Robin Reid come back. He's an ex-world champion.
Sure.
Carl Dilks has been in and around the domestic mix for a while now.
So that's 3 of you from the Liverpool area, Merseyside area.
Yeah, there's 3 of us. Yeah.
That's going to... Now, have you actually been... I always ask everyone that I speak to about Prizefighter. Have you actually been ringside at a Prizefighter yet, Joe? Do you know how it works? Do you know enough about it?
Well, I've got an idea how it works, but no, I haven't been ringside, Steve.
Because some people that try and relax between fights, other guys won't even take their gloves off between fights. I mean, it's a real mix. People are sort of learning how to prepare for it, both before the fight and on the night, because it's unusual. It's not even like when you box as an amateur and box, say, twice in a night. It's different to that. It really is.
Yeah. Well, I think I'll take my gloves off, to be honest. I'll leave my bandages on. I'll take my gloves off, just get out, and I'll just pretty much walk around, watch the fights, just try and stay focused, rehydrate myself, eat a little bit of a can, just a bit of fruit and things, and just obviously you've got to win that first fight to be doing all this. I don't want to look past my first opponent, but... And
too many people do look past the first opponent. You can't conserve anything.
Every one of these, to me, it's just a fight, so I'm just going to go in and, I think that's what I do best. I think it's my best attribute that I can fight, so...
It's like a long-distance race that you start sprinting instead of finishing with a sprint. It's completely... It's reversed. Now, Joe, what's interesting about your career is that you first turned professional in 1999. Then you took advantage of a sort of a rule that was in that allowed you to return to the amateurs. Well, why did you do that, Joe? Did you think you went too early?
To be honest, Steve, no, I never went too early, to be honest, but it's a long story. I just won the ABAs and I was boxing really well. And a fella called Brendan Devine, he turned out to be a real wrong'un, you know what I mean? He was giving me £300 a week, and I'd never had a penny in my life. So
that's a lot of money.
I was 19. I got myself a house. And he turned around and he said, I had to get a CIS card, which is a construction card. And I was going, what's all this about? But I didn't mind. I was getting me money. But it turns out that he had me as a ghost on a building site in the Isle of Man. He had me down as earning 700 quid a week, and he was giving me 3. And then he threw me out in my second fight against Hussein Osman. No, I know it's a funny story. Like,
well, it's not a funny, it's a grim story, yeah.
Grim, yeah, it's horrible. I mean, I was only a young kid, I was naive, I was wet behind the ears, but he threw me in with Hussein Osman in my second fight.
Yeah,
And
it was really tough.
He was a real handful.
Real hard case.
At the time, he'd had 4 and 1-4.
Yeah.
But not only that, I had a great fight with him. We had just had a war for 4 rounds in Bethnal Green. But
yeah, you're cool.
He made me travel down the same day in my own car to London. I was in the car for 7 hours. So it was terrible, it was disgusting. So I was really disillusioned with the pro game, but I went back to my old gym, the Kirkdale, settled back in there. I reached another couple of ABA finals, and I just thought when I was 27, I thought, no, well, I'll just give it one more.
Give it another spin. Well, yeah, let me just explain to listeners that in the year that you won the ABAs, you beat Jim Twight. Jim Twight had knocked out David Hay at You'll Call on the way to the final with you.
Steve, do you know what? I knocked out a fella called Nathan Champ in the York Hall, but as I was warming up in the changing rooms, David Hay gets in the ring with Jim Twight. I hears a big bang after about a minute and thinks, oh yeah, Hay's knocked him out. I'll fight Hay in the final. And I heard a big commotion. Twight had knocked Hay out.
You had indeed, yeah.
So I got in and knocked this Nathan Champ out, and then I was lined up to meet Twight in the final, and he pulled out against me in the final, so I had to actually fight Craig Wake in the final.
Oh wow, from
Northeast,
who'd lost in an earlier round. That's cool. I'd forgotten that.
Twice by like a point in a round before. He was a good fighter. He'd won like a lot of national titles, and he was good. But look, good enough. I managed to overcome him in the final.
That was Joey Ainscough talking to me earlier. That is Prizefighter next week, including Robin Reed. It's a great lineup next week's Prizefighter. Now I always